Matt, you mentioned about nanotechnology as it relates to nutrients and nutrition. And what I'm curious about is as we get more and more educated about what our body needs, and especially when we can understand the unique, each person's unique body and their unique needs, and we can deliver exactly the amount of nutrients that they need for whatever activities they're doing that day or whatever they're going through. Do you think that we're going to see a decline in the enjoyment of food? Is that still a thing? Keith, would you be interested in that?
I don't think so. It's sort of like what I was talking about earlier, that bifurcation of how we use food. Everyone's either moving to food as a purely fuel, or everyone's moving to food as a experience, right? Dinners are getting longer, but then they're also getting shorter. So because people either are just dining solo because they're by themselves and they're on the go, or because they're using dining to hang out with their friends or seek comfort of other people. As it relates to the nanotechnology trend, I think people just want that nutrient faster, and for those that are using data to get it, and 23andMe, if any of you guys are familiar with 23andMe, super fascinating. You send us basically a spit swab into a lab in the Bay Area, and they tell you they're, based on what's called meta-analysis, and meta-analysis is basically just a bunch of different data pools all rolled up into one. They'll tell you about your lineage and who you're tied to. And I think the same thing is going to start happening to food. Every body is different. Luke's body is different than my body, which is different from your body, and everyone has a different reaction. It's similar to how a professional athlete can, twist their knee and have a bad ACL and continue to have bad ACLs, but other professional athletes have perfect knees. And I think we need to realize that we digest food differently. Everyone just has a different perspective on it. So I do actually see that, and almost that minute, as data gets more to our body, and I know Under Armour spent $1 billion last year on just wearable technologies. Fitbit was kind of the first one, right? You're walking around with this ugly looking watch that tells you how many steps you need. That was the first one of pretty soon there's going to be places that are going to remind you, oh, don't forget to drink 8 glasses of water today, or don't forget to have your this or that. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when, and whether it's the Tysons of the world or the startups that are coming out of WeWork that are leading it.
Yeah, I mean, as I listened to you ask the question, nobody's mentioned Soylent, but if you're unfamiliar, Soylent is purely functional. It's basically nutrition in a nearly flavorless goop. And so I think all of this, I hope, is contextual. So I'm somebody who is on the road a lot, and if I'm in a taxi on the way to a panel and I don't have time for dinner, I might eat something purely functional. But I love that some folks have emphasized the connection between food and culture, and I think, I'm also somebody who loves the communal aspects of eating with my wife or friends or whatever, and so I think there will be more control and choice, but I hope, just as a human being, that we're not all on a Soylent drip in 10 years with nothing else happening.